When divine miracles seem hidden, discover this incredible transformation of faith and blessing in the land of Uz. During the days of the great patriarchs, a man named Job stood out. Job was blameless and upright, one who feared God and turned away from evil. His wealth was immense, with 7 sons and 3 daughters bringing vibrancy and joy to his household. Each day, before the sun had fully risen, Job offered burnt offerings for his children, fearing they might have sinned in their hearts. "Perhaps my children have cursed God in their hearts," he would say to himself, embodying a deep covenant relationship grounded in unwavering faithfulness. But then calamity struck. A day like any other transformed into a harrowing nightmare. Job had barely completed his morning sacrifices when a messenger dashed to him. Raiders had taken his oxen and donkeys, slaying his servants. Almost immediately, another breathlessly followed, crying that fire had consumed the sheep and those who tended them. Job's heart raced as he struggled to absorb the catastrophic news. Yet the worst was yet to come. A third messenger arrived and lamented that a great wind had toppled the house where his children feasted, leaving them all lifeless. Overwhelmed with grief, Job tore his robe and shaved his head, sitting in the ashes of what once was his life. "The Lord gave and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." Days passed, and with each sunrise, the heaviness of sorrow deepened. Job's health declined, affliction presenting itself through painful boils that covered his skin. Scraping these sores with a piece of pottery, he was a pitiful sight, a man once filled with joy, now engulfed in sorrow. Amidst this anguish, his 3 friends approached, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, drawn by the tradition of mourning. They sat with him in silence for 7 days, filled with compassion and overwhelmed by what they witnessed. Finally, unable to bear the silence, they spoke. "Surely, you must have sinned against God," they breathed, masking their accusations with concern. Each word seemed to pierce Job's very soul, amplifying his agony. He wrestled with their counsel, longing for divine clarity. "Why must I bear this silence?" he cried into the depths of despair, yearning for the sense of God's presence that felt so far removed. But amidst the pain, Job held firm to his faith. "Though he slay me, I will hope in him," he declared, his unwavering trust shining like a beacon through the darkness. Unbeknownst to him, a cosmic battle unfolded in the heavenly realms, a divine orchestration that would reveal truths beyond his understanding. Before we continue with this incredible biblical account, I want to make sure you don't miss any of these powerful scripture stories. Click the bell icon and select all notifications. These biblical narratives have transformed countless lives throughout history. If God's word through this story is blessing you, please like and share with someone who needs to hear about God's faithfulness today. Tell me in the comments, which biblical story has most impacted your faith journey? I'm always amazed how God's word speaks to hearts across generations. Now let's continue with what the Lord did next. As despair swirled around Job, a mysterious tension built, weighing heavily on him. Was God hidden in this suffering? Would the answers to his cries remain shrouded in obscurity? The questions echoed in his heart as he pondered the unfathomable depths of God's purposes. Was this a test, a punishment, or something he could not yet comprehend? Job's quest for understanding would soon lead him toward a divine revelation that could change everything. And it came to pass, after the 7 days of mourning had elapsed, Job opened his mouth to speak, his voice trembling with anguish. "In vain I have sought the Almighty," he lamented, "and my soul is weary of my days." Turning to his friends, he pleaded for understanding. Why had he brought such calamity upon me? I called out for mercy, yet found none. Was it not I who walked uprightly before him? Eliphaz the Temanite responded first with a solemn tone. "Consider, Job, the great mysteries of God. Can a mortal be righteous before the Almighty? Do not his judgments come upon those who transgress his law?" But Job's heart was wounded. He felt the sting of accusation deepen the wounds of his sorrow. "Am I not a man deserving of understanding?" he cried, longing for a glimpse of hope amid his suffering. Bildad, firm and resolute, interjected, "Your children have perished, surely they have sinned. If you would seek God and make supplication to the Almighty, deliverance might yet come. Job, grappling with despair, countered, even if I were to wash myself clean, what would that avail me in his sight? He knows the deepest chambers of my heart. Days turned to weeks, and the discourse among them grew more heated. Each friend spoke from a heart resonating with human understanding, yet they missed the depths of Job's anguish, failing to recognize the divine hand working behind the veil of sorrow. Job cried out to the heavens, "Oh, that I might find him, that I could approach his throne. Would he not answer me?" His words became a desperate plea for divine revelation. For an encounter that transcended earthly trials. In the stillness of the night, Job contemplated the expanse of the heavens, lifting his eyes to the stars, their shimmering light a testament to God's creation. "Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him," he whispered resolutely, his spirit clinging to faith. Meanwhile, unseen forces stirred in a realm far beyond mortal understanding, where the adversary sought to test the limits of God's servant. As Job's resolve strengthened, he found himself in a conversation with his own soul. "What is man that you are mindful of him?" he mused, pondering the grace and mercy of the Creator. "Lamentations fill my heart, yet I stand firm, knowing that my Redeemer lives, and at the last he will take his stand upon the earth." A newfound courage began to bloom in the depths of his despair. That in the divine courts above, the testimony of Job's unwavering faith echoed, captivating all who bore witness. The Almighty spoke to the adversary, "Have you considered my servant Job? He stands firm despite your deceit, loyal even when the world has turned against him." The heavens leaned in to hear, the atmosphere thick with anticipation of the forthcoming demonstration of God's unfathomable mercy. Then, in an unexpected turn, a wind swept through the air, carrying with it the weight of divine purpose. "Prepare thyself, Job," came a voice like thunder, reverberating through his very being. "For I shall answer you, not according to your perceived understanding, but according to my sovereign will." As the air crackled with energy, Job's heart raced, brimming with awe and trepidation, sensing that a moment of glorious revelation was at hand. Job stood in the presence of the Almighty, and in that instant, he would learn that sometimes the most profound truths are hidden even in the darkest moments, revealing the breadth of God's eternal plan for humanity. What would he discover in that holy encounter? The time had come for God to unveil his sovereign purpose, and Job was about to witness the mighty declaration of divine truth that would echo through generations to come. And it came to pass that a silence fell upon the land, penetrated only by the whispered winds, as Job stood before the Almighty, his heart beating as thunder in his chest. The heavens seemed to hold their breath, waiting, as a great unfolding was at hand. "Job," the voice resounded, magnificent and firm, "gird thy loins like a man. I will question you, and you shall answer me." A tremor ran through Job, and he bowed low, aware of his own frailty in the presence of the Infinite. "Lord, how can I respond to you? I am but dust and ashes. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Declare, if you have understanding," came the Lord's voice, majestic and awe-inspiring. Job's spirit quaked as the children of the morning sang together in rejoicing, and the stars of the night revealed the glory of their Creator. "Who determined its measurements? Surely you know. Or who stretched the line upon it? On what were its bases sunk? Or who laid its cornerstone?" The questions fell upon Job like mighty waves, and he was engulfed by the vastness of God's creation, his thoughts spiraling into a nexus of wonder, awe, and revelation. Sensing the divine cadence of the moment, Job's eyes were opened to the footfalls of creation's mysteries, the heavens above, the earth below, all orchestrated by the hand of the God he often questioned. "I had heard of you by the hearing of the ear," he murmured, "but now my eye sees you. Therefore I despise myself, and I repent in dust and ashes." Then the Lord continued, revealing the wonders of his creation. "Have you commanded the morning since your days began, and caused the dawn to know its place?" Light and darkness were woven together in his hand, a glorious tapestry displaying his wisdom. The mountains and seas answered to his command. The wild beasts were under his watchful eye. "Can you lift up your voice to the clouds, that an abundance of water may cover you? Job's heart began to swell with both fear and elation, for he beheld the intimate sovereignty of the Most High, the one who cares even for the sparrow, and clothes the lilies of the field with splendor. As the divine oracle thundered forth truth after truth, Job was enveloped in the understanding of God's grand design, an orchestra where every being had its place and purpose. The suffering was but a note in a symphony infinitely richer than his pain. With each proclamation, Job's despair unraveled and transformed into an enduring hope. Then suddenly, there unfolded a prophetic revelation, a vision of redemption wrapped in the fabric of divine love. Behold, there will come a day when the suffering of humanity shall be met with the fullness of compassion in the person of the Redeemer. He shall come to bind the broken-hearted and proclaim liberty to the captives. And from this suffering, great good will emerge, revealing my eternal purpose in ways yet unseen. Job trembled, realizing that his trials were not in vain. Through his struggles, the Creator was weaving a narrative of salvation that would ripple through time, touching countless souls. "O Lord, I am unworthy of such knowledge," he cried out, his voice a mixture of joy and humility as he witnessed a glimpse of the divine tapestry. Thus, the Almighty sought to disclose his sovereign plan not only to Job but also through him, an exclamation of faith resonating through generations. "Trust, O my servant, for your Redeemer is appointed, and through your trial, a beacon of hope shall shine forth to guide others in their darkness." And the time had come for Job, though tried, to rise in faith and proclaim, "I know that my Redeemer lives, and that in the end he will stand upon the earth." Little did he know that the climax of his tribulation was but the dawn of a greater display of God's glory, a narrative still unfolding, echoing through the ages. And the Lord spoke again, his voice reverberating as a rolling thunder across the heavens. "Job, have you entered the treasury of the snow? Or have you seen the treasury of the hail, which I have reserved against the time of trouble, against the day of battle and war?" Each question struck the depths of Job's heart, stirring within him a recognition of the vast chasm between divine wisdom and human understanding. Job's mind raced, as he contemplated the mysteries of creation, pondering the wonders of the world around him. "Your ways are higher than my ways, O Lord," he whispered, feeling a profound humility sweep over him like a gentle breeze. With each inquiry from the Almighty, the burdens Job had carried began to dissolve in the light of glorious truth. The cosmos danced in his spirit, reflecting the depths of God's love and grace. "Who can bring forth a creature from the womb of the sea?" The Lord continued, unveiling the majesty of the creatures that roam the earth and the depths of the waters. "Is it by your wisdom that the hawk soars, and the eagle's nest on high? Can you command the ostrich to run swiftly, or make the lion roar in the wilderness?" Job felt the earth tremble beneath him, for it echoed the weight of the truth being revealed that in that moment, the depth of God's omniscience pierced through his despair. Job remembered the days of his former days, when he would gather his children, teaching them the ways of righteousness. Now, as the Lord spoke, he realized that even the wild beasts were part of a divine purpose, much like the loss and the pain he had endured. "Is it not I who provides for the raven his prey, when his young ones cry unto me?" The divine voice resonated within Job, awakening a new perspective. A whisper ignited hope where once there had been sorrow. "Even in your suffering, I have not forsaken you. Your trials are but threads in the rich tapestry I weave." With words heavy with revelation, Job began to perceive the flickering light in the shadows of his affliction. "You, O Lord, are the God who sees not only my pain but the potential for restoration. I trust in your sovereign plan, though I cannot see its fullness." Then the Lord revealed a deeper truth. "Know this, my servant. There will come a time of flourishing that will spring forth from your distress. The faithful shall be replenished, and those who mourn shall be comforted. I will restore to you double for all that has been taken away." Tears streamed down Job's face as he beheld the weight of these promises. "Great is thy faithfulness," he proclaimed, feeling the warmth of a hope renewed within him. "You alone hold the keys to the hearts of men. In my weakness your strength is made perfect. In my emptiness you will pour forth abundance." With a heart emboldened by divine assurance, Job stood firm, his spirit ignited. I will boldly declare, the Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord, for I know that every moment of suffering serves a greater purpose. As the dialogue with the Almighty deepened, the heavens opened wider, revealing mysteries beyond his comprehension. There shall arise a champion, a Redeemer greater than your understanding, who will endure for the sake of all. Through him, the wounds of the world will find healing, and your pain shall serve to depict the fullness of grace that shall be poured out. Exulting in this newfound revelation, Job took a step forward, strengthened by the promises of the Most High. Little did he know the unfolding of these prophetic truths would ripple through generations, inspiring unyielding faith in the hearts of many yet to come. And amidst the echoes of divine dialogue, a promise lingered in the air, a promise that would bring forth an unfathomable transformation of faith and blessings, set against the backdrop of a divine mystery yet unveiled. Then the Lord continued, Job, gird up thy loins like a man. I will demand of you, and you shall answer me. The weight of the inquiry filled the atmosphere, for Job knew this was not merely a test of his knowledge but of his heart. The mighty voice transcended the storms of his soul, carrying both challenge and grace. Shall a fault-finder contend with the Almighty? He who argues with God, let him answer it. Job felt the weight of every word saturate his spirit, thrusting him into a posture of awe before the Creator. Trembling, he understood that the Lord was unveiling the depth of divine authority, while simultaneously drawing near with promises of restoration. As he stood in the light of God's command, Job felt the earth beneath him tremble with reverberations of ancient truths. I have spoken of things I did not understand, he confessed, his integrity clashing with the immensity of God's purposes. Therefore, I retract my words and repent in dust and ashes, he said, humbled and contrite, aware of his limitations yet secure in the embrace of the divine. The Lord, seeing the shift in Job's heart, spoke once more, You have witnessed the depths of despair, yet have not walked away from the faithfulness of my covenant. Now, behold the wonders of my creation that surpass human wisdom. As if to testify of his words, a whirlwind rose from the horizon, blustering through the valley where Job resided. The mighty gusts circled him, stirring the dust and leaves as if nature itself was gathering to participate in this divine encounter. And in the very midst of this whirlwind, the voice of the Lord resonated again. Who is this that obscures my plans with words without knowledge? Each question was like a crystalline note that perforated the atmosphere, striking deep within the heart of Job. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Tell me if you have understanding. Who determined its measurements? Surely you know. Or who stretched the line upon it? Job stood dumbstruck as wisdom poured forth like a river, the magnificent truths of the universe unraveling in the presence of the Almighty. Have you commanded the morning since your days began, and caused the dawn to know its place? Each inquiry painted a portrait of Goddess majesty, awakening Job's spirit to the grand design behind creation. In that moment, Job realized the insignificance of his suffering compared to the beauty of God's sovereign plan. I am but a child of clay, molded by your hands, he sighed, embracing humility over pride. Forgive me, for I was blinded by grief. Touched by his sincerity, the Lord revealed a new facet of his grace. Hear now, my servant, I will ask you again. Prepare a sacrifice, and you shall intercede for those who have spoken unwisely against me. Job's heart soared in the assurance that even in his suffering, he would serve a higher purpose. In the furnace of affliction, you have been tempered like gold, the Lord continued, and in your restoration, others shall find the path to redemption. Job felt the pulse of divine purpose knitting through his being, igniting a flame of hope that transcended his severe ordeal. And so Job arose, transformed in spirit, embracing the charge bestowed upon him. He gathered his friends, offering sacrifices and prayers that the Lord might forgive them. Humility blossomed within him, and through this act of intercession, Job grasped the unfurling of a divine plan far greater than his own understanding. As the sacrifices were laid upon the altar, a whisper danced across the heavens, affirming the legacy of faith that would spring forth in the wake of Job's suffering. Oh, the mystery of my ways, the Lord proclaimed. A deliverance shall come forth from this land, and from your sorrow, a legacy of hope shall bloom, not just for you, Job, but for all generations that follow. For you have been chosen, even as the dawn chooses to rise. In that moment, the full weight of God's promise rekindled the dreams of restoration in Job's heart, beckoning him further into the unfolding of divine mysteries yet unknown. Then the Lord continued to speak from the whirlwind, and his voice was a deep thunder that echoed through the valleys. Job, listen closely and answer my questions, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are your ways my ways. The declaration wrapped around him like a blanket of authority and love, pulling Job deeper into awe. Tell me, where is the way to the dwelling of light and darkness? Where is its place? Can you take them to their territory and make them know the paths to their home? Surely you are aware, for you've grown old in years, and wisdom is long rooted in your heart. Each inquiry pressed against Job's heart, revealing the frailty of human understanding in relation to the vastness of God's knowledge. Job's mind trembled like the earth beneath his feet as he pondered these formidable questions. I am but a whisper in the expanse of creation, he thought, grasping deeper revelations of his own humanity. Surely, I cannot fathom the depths of your design, O Lord. As the Lord continued, he spoke of the majestic creatures that roamed the earth, the beasts of the field and the birds of the heavens. Have you given the horse strength? Have you clothed its neck with thunder? Can you make it leap like a locust, with the fearlessness that matches its spirit? Job felt the weight of each divine observation, recognizing that all creation was a testament to God's glory and power. He understood now, each question deepened his reverence, igniting a flame of worship within him. The glory of the Lord filled the skies, unraveling the threads of mystery around the suffering he endured. You have seen how I care for the wild things, the Lord affirmed, and how the mountain goats give birth and bring forth new life. Do you not see that I also hold your heart, Job? In the shadows and sorrows, I am attentive. With each powerful declaration, Job felt his anguish receding, replaced by a firm resolution to adore the God whose wisdom transcended understanding. O Lord, he breathed, your greatness is beyond what I can know, yet I trust in your sovereignty amid my trials. The Lord paused, and in the stillness, Job sensed an invitation to draw near. Now, Job, I will show you the end of my purposes. Though you have endured suffering, there is beauty rising from the ashes. I will restore to you the years the locusts have eaten. Job's heart soared, a glimmer of hope casting a shadow over despair. In your hands, O God, my future is secure. You are the restorer of the broken, the healer of wounds. And as Job offered up his prayers of praise, the skies shifted, and a gentle rain began to fall, cleansing the earth and symbolizing the refreshment of life to come. The journey of restoration had commenced, yet whispers of further plans unfurled in the air like fragrant incense. Know this, Job, your sufferings have not been in vain. A greater purpose is at hand, one that will echo through generations. For from your anguish shall rise a testament of faith, illuminating the path for many. Job, filled with wonder, sensed the stirring of new life, a divine purpose breathing through his trials, revealing the complex tapestry of God's sovereign will. And so, he awaited the full dawning of what was to come. For the true depths of the Lord's promises were yet to be unveiled, leading him toward a destiny richer than he could ever imagine. Then the Lord resumed his discourse, the sound of his voice like waves crashing against a rocky shore, reverberating through Job's spirit. Job, do you now remember the promises I have made? In your suffering, I have not turned my back, for I am drawing forth a new creation from your pain. Job felt the earth beneath him pulse with the gravity of God's words. The heavens, in their vastness, bore witness to the covenant being declared. Lord, speak further, for I long to grasp the fullness of your plan. Look at the behemoth I have made, a creation beyond your ken, the Lord continued. It eats grass like an ox. Its strength is in its loins, and its power is in the muscles of its belly. Can you draw a spear against it, or can you catch it by its mouth? The majesty of God's creation pierced Job's heart with reverent fear as the Lord unfolded more wonders of his design. Job saw how even the mightiest creatures were under his dominion. "O Lord, who am I to question your ways?" Job implored, kneeling in submission, tracing the contours of his humility as the heavens proclaimed God's righteousness. "Job, I am the one who lays bare the foundations of the earth and scales the heights of the mountains. I am the master of all that is seen and unseen. You are only beginning to understand," the Lord revealed, and within each phrase lay the seeds of unbreakable trust. "Why then has suffering come upon me, if I am under your care? Why did the waves of despair crash upon me relentlessly?" Job's heart wrestled with faith amid uncertainty, his soul yearning for the deeper truths of divine purpose. "To know my ways," the Lord replied, "is to embrace both the light and the darkness, for they are part of my grand design. The valleys of sorrow allow for growth in the heights of praise. From your anguish your faith will be tested like gold in the fire." Job raised his eyes toward the distant mountains, a fresh resolve igniting within him. "Then let it be, Lord. If my trials forge me into a vessel bearing witness to your glory, I will endure," he declared. As the tempest of his anguish receded, the stillness of the Lord's presence enveloped him. "And now, Job," the Lord continued, his countenance radiant and full of grace, a transformation surges forth. "For I will bless you beyond measure, replenishing what was lost, restoring what was broken. Your latter days will be greater than your former." With each pronouncement, Job's heart filled not just with hope, but with anticipation for the vision unfolding before him. Like a garden watered after a long drought, new blooms began to spring from the soil of his trials. The Lord, profound in wisdom, spoke of generations yet unborn, who would look upon Job's trials as a testament to unwavering faith. "From you shall come healing to nations, a legacy of hope that shall stand against the rising tides of despair." Job felt an overwhelming sense of awe wash over him. How could it be that his brokenness would weave into such a grand narrative? "I am but dust and ashes," he whispered, yet his spirit soared like the eagles of the heights. And so, as the dawn broke over the land, painting the skies in hues of promise and restoration, the wheels of redemption began to turn. Job stood on the precipice of divine revelation, sensing that the full measure of God's plan was yet unfurled before him. "Indeed, Job," the Lord murmured, "as you lift your gaze, know this, what you now witness is but the beginning. I am weaving your history into my story. Watch closely, for the culmination of all shall echo through eternity." Then the Lord continued to speak with Job, and the air thickened with anticipation, as the very essence of creation bent to hear the unfolding of divine purpose. "Job, I direct your gaze not only to the mighty behemoth but to the stars that twinkle in the night sky. Each star I have named, and they shine not for themselves but to declare my glory. So too shall your suffering testify of my sovereign grace." Job trembled in awe and sought understanding through the profound mystery that enveloped him. "Go on, Lord, for I am but a servant eager to learn. What shall my pain conjure under your mighty hand?" The Lord's voice was like thunder, yet gentle, a paradox of strength and tenderness, as he led Job deeper into revelation. "Even the Leviathan, who plays in the depths, is known to me, for there is no creature beyond my reach. I have ordered all things according to my counsel, and nothing falls outside my meticulous design." Job listened intently, feeling as though he stood at the very threshold of eternity. "If the creatures of the deep know you, O Lord, let my heart be a vessel of understanding. Do not leave me without insight into this path of sorrow. Remember this, Job. The earth endures through seasons, and all that you witness speaks of cycles, a rhythm embedded in creation. Your cries, though they seem unheard, ascend like incense to my throne. I do not ignore your lamentations but use them to forge an enduring legacy," the Lord replied, his words wrapping around Job's heart with an unfathomable peace. At that sacred moment, Job grasped the truth that emerged from his trial. "Then amidst my suffering, Lord, a legacy is being carved not for my glory but yours. What a profound weight of love you have shown me. Indeed, my child," the Lord confirmed, "your faith, though tested by fire, will shine brighter as you lean upon me. Know that I am shaping within you attributes that mirror my character: mercy, resilience, and unfaltering trust. This is the crucible through which nations will see my faithfulness. As the winds shifted, Job felt a warmth envelop him, easing the heaviness that had settled in his spirit for so long. So let the world and the heavens bear witness to my journey, for I surrender my story into your omnipotent hands. Your surrender is as a fragrant offering, Job, and from it will grow a multitude of blessings, the Lord proclaimed, affirming his promise. With every tear you have shed, I will birth beauty. With every loss, I will bring restoration. Hope shall spring forth as new life, and joy will overflow, replacing despair. Yet as Job drank deeply from the fountain of divine hope, a mysterious stirring lingered in the air in anticipation, a shift like the precursor to a great storm. What shall I yet see, O Lord, that is beyond this renewal? Job asked with fervor, his heart attuned to the murmuring of the heavens. The Lord's response was like a whisper of wind weaving through ancient trees. A time shall come when you finish this chapter of trials, and I will assemble all creation for a greater unveiling. It is then that you will fully comprehend my unwavering plan, one that spans beyond your understanding, reaching into eternity. Job's heart quickened, stirred by the hidden truths yet to be revealed, and he knew that beyond his current reality, divine tapestry was still being woven. And there, surrounded by the beckoning presence of the Almighty, he stood in reverent expectation, for the unfolding of promise lay on the horizon, swathed in divine mystery. Then the Lord continued, enveloping Job in a profound stillness, as the cosmos reaffirmed its faithful watch under his command. Job, your pain is but a temporary veil, obscuring the glories that I will soon bring to light. For I am at work in ways that the human eye cannot see, crafting a narrative that will ripple through generations. Job, feeling the weight of divine purpose resting upon his heart, responded, Speak, O Lord, for your servant listens. What shall I learn from this hidden season? The time will come when your friends shall gather, and with heavy hearts they will bow before you, the Lord declared. They shall burden themselves with the weight of their misunderstandings and misguided counsel, for in their zeal they know not the depth of my dealings with you. Job pondered these words. Then shall I forgive them, Lord? Is there grace for their misjudgments? Indeed, the Lord replied with an unyielding tenderness. For what is forgiveness if not a reflection of me? Just as I have extended mercy to you in your affliction, let your heart echo my compassion when the season of restoration arrives. A vision unfurled in Job's mind, one woven with strands of hope and reconciled friendship. So it shall be, my heart shall not harbor bitterness, but rather compassion, for I am clothed in your grace. As the dawn broke across the horizon, painting the world anew, Job understood that healing follows the bitterest wounds. But sustaining this grace, how shall I attain it? O Lord, how can I carry what seemed lost? The Lord's voice resonated through the air with strength and clarity. Job, your faith will become the foundation of your endurance. The trials you endure may seem insurmountable, yet they forge in you a wellspring of resilience. As I supplied manna to the wandering children of Israel, so will I be your constant sustenance. Then grant me strength, O Lord, Job beseeched, for without your assistance, my steadfastness wanes. Show me how to cling to your promise amidst despair. Look upon the flowers of the field, Job, God instructed. They bloom without toil, and yet I clothe them with splendor. Each petal and leaf stretches forth at my command. How much more shall I provide for you, a child who bears my image? Job began to feel the tremors of faith shake through him, becoming a tapestry of purpose woven through each sigh of despair. It rests in surrender, does it not, Lord? To yield even my very breaths unto you, to let go and trust completely in your unchanging hand? Yes, my tender servant, the Lord affirmed, in surrender you will find strength. In mercy you will find clarity. In mourning you shall discover joy. As the sun ascended fully, a warm glow infused Job's soul, casting away the shadows of his torment. He perceived the timelessness of God's masterwork unfolding. This trial was not a tomb, but rather a gateway to resurrection strength. Lord, he whispered, grant me eyes to see, for my spirit yearns to comprehend your great design. The heavens throbbed with expectancy, and the very foundations of the earth trembled. And behold, Job, as you rise from this season of testing, I shall proclaim your name among the nations, and the world shall marvel at my workings through you. This is but the beginning. A flicker ignited within him, and Job stood taller amidst his ashes, for he sensed the divinely orchestrated future that awaited. He began to wonder, if God was weaving this tapestry of hardship into a magnificent masterpiece, what greater miracles lay upon the horizon, waiting to reveal his ultimate plan? Would they call forth the promise of restoration not only for him but for all who followed in faith? And in the sacred stillness of that moment, the voice of the Almighty echoed once more, radiating with the power of divine promise. Job, your journey through suffering is but a step toward the blessings I have in store for you. For I am the God who brings forth beauty from ashes, who turns mourning into joy. In your trials, I have written a story not only of endurance but of triumph that will be shared across ages. Job's heart, once heavy with sorrow, was now alive with a vibrant hope that surged through him like a river of living water. He had journeyed through the depths of despair, and now, as the dawn of restoration stretched over the horizon, he sensed that the fullness of God's purpose was beginning to unfold before his very eyes. Know this, my faithful servant, the Lord continued, his voice as gentle as a shepherdess call. You will rise again, not merely to reclaim what was lost, but to witness a doubling of blessings, a manifestation of favor as vast as the heavens themselves. And as Job listened, a vision manifested in his heart. Reunions awaited with his children, laughter echoing through his home, and prosperity flourished in his fields. The remnants of the past were being drawn together by divine hands into a mosaic of hope. Your friends shall return, the Lord declared, and they will seek forgiveness at your feet. Demonstrate my mercy that you have received, extending grace as I have poured out upon you. In doing so, you will model the heart of the Redeemer who will come in days yet unnumbered, who will bear all sorrows and redeem even the deepest wounds. Job nodded in understanding, feeling the weight of this call to forgiveness upon his shoulders. I will not allow bitterness to take root, Lord. As I have gazed into your grace, so will I extend it to others. His heart swelled with the beauty of divine compassion, recognizing that forgiveness would liberate not only those around him but also the heaviness he had carried. The air around him shimmered as the Lord's presence enveloped him in warmth. And God spoke. His words were like the dawn breaking, illuminating shadows. Then arise, Job, take heart, and go forth. Let my promise dwell within you, stirring hope in your spirit. Your testimony will draw many to understand the power of faith amid trial. With newfound strength, Job rose from the dust, embracing the call that was echoing through the heavens. The burdens of his suffering transformed into wings of freedom. He envisioned the faces of those who would hear of his story, the anxious heart seeking solace, the weary soul yearning for redemption. I will declare your works, O Lord. I will recount your faithfulness from the heights of my trials. And as Job set out, the winds carried his voice as a prophetic declaration. The earth rejoiced, the creation itself heralding the restoration that was set into motion. Then, as Job prayed and offered sacrifices for his friends, the Lord saw his heart and replied, I will restore you, my beloved servant. Pray for your friends, and I shall turn their folly into wisdom. Your intercession will be the balm that heals. The cycle of grace ushered forth restorative blessings first, a resurgence in Job's fortunes. His livestock flourished, and the land blossomed with abundance. The laughter of children graced his home once more, and relatives arrived to share joy in the restored family gatherings. Such is the way of my providence, the Lord confirmed, for in your trials you have found humility, and through humility you have discovered the treasures of my abundance. You shall be twice blessed, for I am a generous God. Job, now filled with a joyful hope, recounting all the tales of divine mercy and grace, celebrated with friends and family. His life became a tapestry of encouragement to many, woven intricately into the hearts of those who witnessed the transformative journey he had embraced. Thus, the days of Job were concluded, wherein he lived to see for generations. His legacy became one of steadfast faith, a beacon drawing others to trust in the Almighty even in the dark valleys. I have encountered the living God in the crucible of despair. Job declared with a heart full of praise. My Redeemer lives, and I stand restored by his wondrous love. And so it is recorded that Job's story became a parable for generations, the tale of a man who encountered sorrow yet found hope, whose faithfulness in suffering illuminated the path for countless seekers of truth. His name is now intertwined with the promise of redemption, echoing through the ages, reminding all who walk this earth that our God is sovereign and his plans are good. Indeed, rejoice in this divine testament, for those who suffer shall be comforted, and through our trials, his glory shall be revealed. As you reflect on this powerful revelation of Job's journey, know that God invites you into a deeper understanding of faith. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next powerful biblical stories that will illuminate God's wondrous works. Leave a like now to help spread God's word through the algorithm so more hearts can be touched. Share your spiritual reflections in the comments. How has Job's story impacted your faith? Remember, this is the moment to help spread biblical truth. Don't wait even one more second. Share this video with at least 5 friends who need to hear God's truth today. Your actions can lead others to experience the transformation and hope that Job found. For true believers understand the importance of supporting biblical content to reach more souls for Christ.